Let's make sure you didn't do what you did last
I
time. Right?
took it out.
Hallelujah. Listen, how y'all doing today? God bless you. May the Lord smile on you. One Kingdom Church is here tonight. We're here, and listen, our faithful little puppy is gonna always be here, barking and growling. So please get used to that. Look at her. She ain't gonna go nowhere without her puppies. Okay? So they're under us, kicking and biting on my toes. But we're gonna do this live anyway. Hey, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Hey, how you doing? Put your phone down and let's get ready to go get it, ma'am. What
I'm
you let
just making sure
what you let the
everything's
hat
working.
on? Hey, make sure everything's working. How y'all
Yeah,
doing?
this a bad hair day.
What's going on, Josh? What's going on? Hey, how you doing? Who's over here? Want to send a shout out to who's there? Who just came
Hello,
in?
hello.
Hello? That's One Kingdom, y'all. Listen, that's her dogs. That's her dogs.
Yeah.
That's hers. Listen, how y'all doing tonight? May the Lord smile on you. What you want to talk about? We got something very special we want to get into. Uh, Karen came up with this title tonight, and we want her to go forth with it first, and we're gonna go ahead and chime in and go forth with it. So, what do the Lord got us talking about tonight?
So tonight we are talking about how we look at our situations.
How we look at our
What
situations?
do we have
Wow.
to say about our situations? And
Wow.
not just like we sitting up having a conversation with ourselves about our situation, but just your perception, because it affects your mindset. It affects how you deal with it. It affects how long your situation is around. How we feel about our situations affects us in more ways than we think.
There you go.
So that's why, because this week has been, probably the last 2 weeks has been really crazy for me. And I found myself today, um, I was so disgusted, if I can call it disgusted. That's what I was though, really.
Why was you
I was
discussing?
disgusted with my situation. Not that something was so bad, but when you in a place, the thing just magnifies itself. And I was just disgusted with everything that I was seeing. I was
Really?
disgusted with the how I do around this house. I be having many projects going on, and I never finish.
Never. Never. Come
I
on.
absolutely never finish these projects. This little section right here, really,
Good, that's been there
it
since we
teased
moved
me
here.
off.
Since we moved here.
So you don't remember when I fixed it?
Nah.
You are sad.
Nah.
I know I.
Nah.
But it keeps getting like that, which makes me so mad. So just and not that that was a huge thing, but I was so in a place mentally that it had me thinking everything was so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like how stuff magnifies itself once.
Yep.
Once you get in that place and you settle in,
Yep.
baby, everything goes to turning disgusting.
But can I say this?
Yeah.
You gonna say something? Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's it. Yeah.
But one thing I noticed about this situation. Okay, I'm noticing this, and this is for you guys out here right now. I need you to understand this. We have so much going on. We're doing so much. This is people in general. What's up, Kelvin? We got so much going on. What we need to start doing is, and I had to learn this. You got a zillion things. Trust me, I know you do. Knock out one thing at a time. Because when you're trying to do multiple things at a time, it gets frustrating.
It's too much.
It's overwhelming, and you wind up not doing nothing.
You end up not doing nothing. And which is so crazy. Because like you said, that sounds so easy.
That's it.
What you just said. But
it's
to
hard.
really put that into practice,
yes,
baby.
It's just like at the office. You trying to do one thing, then a call come in, then the girls say something. You're trying to put out so many
You
fires.
got 15 situations.
There you go.
At the end of the day, you still got 15 situations that you have not dealt with. So your list starts over the next day.
There you go. So we have to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
We have to focus on one thing at a time because, you say you're going to clean the garage. You say you're going to get the taxes together. You say you're going to, so you're trying to jump on everything. And it doesn't work. It doesn't happen. Listen, that even happens in our Christian life, right? Because what happens? We want to be able to do this. You want to be able to fast. You want to be able to go here, go here. You're trying to do so much, even in your Christianity life, that you get overwhelmed and you stop doing everything.
Stop doing anything.
In general.
And one of the things that the Holy Spirit has said to me, and we talked about this last week too.
What's up, Josh? Josh said, can that affect the mindset?
That's what we get there,
That's
Josh.
what we get
That's
to.
what it does.
It can affect it.
Have you
What's
out
up,
of there.
It will have your mindset out of that. Go ahead.
This is what I was going to say. One of the things the Holy Spirit said to me, and I have never forget it. That's how I knew it was him. He said, when life shifts into a different area,
hey, Kim.
It's not that, because sometimes when life shifts and things get overwhelming, sometimes you need to take a step back. Sometimes you need to shift.
You got to shift.
You might be doing something 5 days a week. You need to take it down to 2. Sometimes, you have to shift. So sometimes it's not that we just need to completely stop, but that it's that we need to shift the thing. And it's a different life now. It's a
totally different
you
life.
got different situations going on. So you can't do everything the way that you were doing it.
Let's use Josh for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Josh asked that question. Josh cut hair. Mm-hmm. Josh make benches. Josh go back and forth to Louisiana. Yep. Josh make food on Fridays. Yep. That's a lot. That's a lot.
The backstory to all of that can be overwhelming.
It could be overwhelming. And he's walking his Christian life. So you have to be able to prioritize everything. And guess what? And sometimes, that's what he said. He asked, he said, could that affect the mindset? Ooh. Yes, because it could stop everything that you're doing and you'll come to a halt. You'll get overwhelmed and you'll get to the point to where you're not doing none of it anymore. You'll lose the love. You'll lose the love from everything that you're doing.
And I was going to say, not to mention being effective.
Being effective.
That's a whole nother level because you can be doing stuff.
Yeah.
You can just be doing stuff and not being effective in it and not putting your all in it and not, giving your 100% in it. But to be effective with these things, man.
I'll tell you, man. But listen, this is what I'm saying. You have to get to the point to where now you could do multiple. Now you got to be advanced in this, okay? You can do multiple things because what can happen is you can tell yourself, okay, this morning I'm doing that. What's up, Pat? Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do that. For instance, look at Pat. I got Pat on here. Pride and Paul. Shout out to Pride and Paul also. He prioritizes his time with the dogs. He has so much things he has to do, but what he does, and it's a great thing because he put it on live a lot of times, he have different time slots and he gets this stuff and he put it in his priority and picks his son up, go look at his son play basketball. He go do all of these things. It could be overwhelming, and he go feed the homeless on Saturdays. He do all of this stuff, but what he does is, and he go to church, he's a man of God, he prioritizes. Yeah. And if you don't prioritize what's going on in your life, your Christianity life, life and natural, it will take you to a place to where you don't want to do nothing. You'll run out of gas. You'll be just overwhelmed. Me and her had to go to our Airbnb last weekend. We left on a Thursday, came back on a Saturday. But when we left, we really didn't do anything. We fished and laid back and chilled out. Because what we did, this is the important part of what you got to do in prioritizing. We got so caught up to where we was running so much that we did not realize that we was doing everything, trying to put out a lot of fires.
Yeah.
So when we was trying to put all these fires out, every time we got home, we was leaving back out the door, doing something. We had to go do this. We had to go do that. You have to prioritize different things in your life. So now we have a church. We're pastoring the church. So now we have to prioritize all of that. Bible study Thursday night, Sunday morning service, and then we have to counsel certain, people. So we have to prioritize that, and as well, we have to run the plumbing company. We have to deal with the dogs because we both deal with them together, and we have to deal with the real estate stuff, the Airbnb. We have to deal with building. We have to deal with dealing with. So we had to learn how to do what? Delegate. I have a niece, goddaughter, whatever you want to call her. We put her over to Airbnb. Look, we're going to give you a percentage to take care of the Airbnb. When people come in, you deal with them.
Right.
Because we could not do all of this stuff and allow it to happen. So what we're doing is delegating our time.
Right.
Delegating different things and having people, like right now, even when we have to come into the office and set the church up. I had one of the pastors that I admire. He came to me and said, look, man, you're going to have to delegate somebody to do that because I can get up and do it. And I realize that I'm getting up and I'm running. I'm getting the church ready. I'm setting up the chairs and all this. But what happens is you get into a routine to where you're doing so much stuff. Sooner or later, you're going to have a blowout. You're going to have a blowout.
Yep.
It's just like one of my guys came today, Mr. Leon, to train the dogs. Before I knew it, he called me. I was like, hello. He was like, man, you sleep? He had already worked the dogs out because you don't realize how tired you'll be, how much you're running, how much you're doing in this life. And you got to be able to get yourself in order to organize. Is that what you want to talk about tonight?
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
Kind of just like Josh was saying about the mental state, because I think when your mind is just out of there, you start thinking differently about the situation.
Yeah.
And not to mention the spiritual side of that, because the enemy is waiting on a space to creep in.
Yeah.
And because like I said, it may have started with one thing, but then I was looking at everything and everything looked the same. Everything is, it's just bad and it's just so much of it. And stuff we really have to watch.
Look what Patrick said. He said, just like Moses' father-in-law told him he had to delegate some authority.
Absolutely.
But you know what, Pat, on that, a lot of people are scared to give up some of their authority.
Yeah.
Because they're so, and guess what? I was one of the ones, especially in the plumbing company. I thought I could do it all myself. I didn't want nobody touching nothing. Yeah. I didn't want nobody. I mean, it wasn't that I didn't want them touching it. I was so used to doing it on my own, taking care of business on my own. I knew I could get it done.
Right way.
Then I wanted to do it, and it was just, and then it started wearing me out, and I had to start releasing things.
Yeah.
Look at Josh. That's why I like to use the people that's on our live because it can relate to them. What did Josh do? He got his oldest son, and he got both his sons actually. They started helping him. So he's teaching his son what to do.
Pouring into them.
He's pouring into them, delegating.
Yeah.
Listen, drill this hole, do this here, put this here, put that there. Because what he's doing is he's showing it, so now he can go cut some fades. Now he can cook some. Matter of fact, he do crawfish on Fridays at Luxury Cuts. If y'all want some good crawfish, I don't eat it.
This week is shrimp.
Shrimp,
all kind of stuff.
He's a Louisiana boy. So y'all get with him.
Go check him out.
Go check him out. But what I'm saying, so he makes time for himself. Because Josh reminds me of me so much. He run.
Yeah.
I see that all the time.
His wife. I know that's right. Give it back. Give it back.
She cooking it now. That's cool.
Give it back to
That's
her.
cool. But listen,
you
have to understand where you're at because listen, and what we're really trying to tell you, the devil wants you to get so busy. Because what's one of the first places that you will stop dealing with? It's the church. Because they don't pay you.
The church and your personal relationship. Ain't nobody saying,
that's it.
You get in that mindset, God is there, but, we get in these mindsets that we don't have to, but it's hurting up our personal relationship.
But that's the first thing we let go.
Not so much the church.
Well,
but
we start letting God go. He'll be the last thing on the totem pole because, why? Because we're so overwhelmed. You know what? I'm not going to make it this Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Some of us done got stuck in that place where we were with COVID of they ain't going no way. They watching it, they watching it on here or however. But you're right. That's the first thing, man. I'm sleeping in the morning.
Sleeping in. Because you're so overwhelmed because you're trying to delegate everything. The enemy, what he does is say, I got something for him. I'm going to keep him so busy.
It's a trick.
I'm going to keep him so busy to where if I keep him so busy, guess what happens? They won't be able to serve me. They won't be able to serve God. And that's the trick. The devil wants you to get so bust with life that before you know it, God is at there you go, the bottom of our priority.
That's the key
right there. He's bottom of our priority list. That's the key. He wants to get you so caught up in everything. And I had to learn that. Listen, chasing money, chasing jobs, chasing this. And I had to stop it. God had to stop me. And I never forget this. He had to stop me. Because I remember I was making so much money one weekend because we needed some money. We needed some extra money. And I remember I was working. I was working before church started. I'd get up early that morning, go hit drains before church started. And man, the quicker I make the money, the quicker the money was leaving.
Man.
And I was like, God, what are you doing? She was just sitting there looking at me like, dummy. And I was like, God.
That's probably what I was saying in my mind.
I was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm out here working with my hands like you told me. But I was making it such a priority.
Out of order.
I was making it such a priority. But he was showing me, I'm going to take every dime. Yeah. Every time you make this, I'm going to make something happen. I mean, stuff just started pulling out the account. I'm like, what's going on? Well, God was showing me. And a lot of this stuff, we just going to have to stop and trust him.
Yeah.
You're going to have to trust God. Because, listen, I understand God put a hustle in you, and I get it. Because that's what God has put in me. Marketplace ministry. All day long. I'm out here shaking hands, making deals, doing different things. Yeah. But without God, it ain't worth anything.
It ain't gonna work.
It's not worth anything.
When we put him at the bottom of our list,
there you go.
It's a spiral. It just we going deeper in the hole.
Deeper in the hole.
And we don't understand that because we just trying to get things done. Just trying to get things done. Mark stuff off our list.
Don't you know? Even in the marketplace that God has placed me in ministry, certain people that I meet is purposefully. Even if I don't make anything out of it.
Right.
But I'll be looking at, this is a job that I can make, or this is a connection, but that's not the connection sometimes God wants you to have. He wants you to have a connection. Money didn't even make nothing out of it. You didn't even make a dime out of it.
And then too, when we in that mindset, we missing what God is trying through those connections, what is really supposed to happen.
There you go.
Some connections is for spiritual growth. Some connections you supposed to be pouring into somebody.
That's it.
You miss the whole point of the connection because you so driven by whatever you driven by.
Yeah, just like God connected me back with one of my old high school partners, E. He wrote a book. What's up, T-Fool? He wrote a book. It's called The Switch Within. Nice book. And we want to make some money together doing real estate, but I had to realize, even if we don't, God connected us for a reason. He put us back together for a reason. So we have to understand we got so much moving. We got so much going.
Right.
You have to be able to prioritize what's going on in your life. You got to be able to do that. Right now, a lot of us, our life is just everywhere. Our situation is everywhere. I got you, Josh. Our life is everywhere right now. Our life is going different places. We're just ripping and running. We're just going so much out of mind. Listen, when we go to sleep, we're thinking about something. When we wake up, we're thinking about something. Listen, same as me. That's good. But sometimes it can be bad because our mind is so... have y'all ever woke up and wondered what day it was because you're running so much? Yeah, been there, done that. Why? Because what I'm saying is we have to be able to prioritize and say, look, this is here, this is there. No matter if I miss this, I still got to do this right here. Because one thing you got to understand, ripping and running ain't going to fix nothing. If you look what Jesus did, Jesus never did do no running.
Jesus was.
He never did
he
do
was
no
moving, but he was in sync with
that
his
man
father.
did more moving than all of us, but he did it decently and in order. He did it decently. He got everything done the right way. Okay, it's time for me to go to the. I got to get led to the desert.
He knew. He shifted with the ship.
He shifted with the ship. Because you know why? Because every time he went somewhere, it was meant for him to be there.
It was meant for him to be there.
When he fed the people with the 2 loaves,
it was on
meant.
Purpose.
He left, he got on the boat, and he left and went on the other side. He got led to the desert. Ooh. He did not rush. He did not do nothing because he knew God does not make mistakes. Now, I'm not telling you to miss opportunity in your business. No. What I'm telling you is what I'm telling you, we're pushing so much to where it shouldn't be what we should be doing. Because
some of them is sent just to distract you.
That's right.
Some of them is sent to overwhelm you.
It's sent to
Some of this stuff is not everything that come to you ain't for your good.
That's right.
Not everything. God said he would turn it around for our good, but everything you're not supposed to even, you supposed to have the mindset and know what you're supposed to be on and move in that way.
Yeah. For instance, I got a deal with some KFC stores. And I just said, ripping and running. And my spirit I said, you know what? Didn't we talk about that? Mm-hmm. I said, it's good money. I could go work for this. He got quite a bit of stores. I had the contract to do them. And it was just something I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this no more. I'm going to let him have it. Because it wasn't the right fit for me.
Right.
And you got to be able to know that in business and in life. If it's not the right fit, do not try to force it.
Yeah.
Don't try to force it if it's not the right fit. Listen, KFC, pay good. Pay you the next day. You send him a bill, he gonna pay you the next day or the day after. He gonna send you that money.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the right fit. I'm not gonna force it. See, a lot of us are trying to do a lot of stuff in our life, in our business, and different things of that nature, and we got to stop it, because what happens is we try to force a lot of things.
Right.
We try to force a lot of things because we this is what we want, that's what we're chasing out there, and that's what we think we need, but it doesn't fit your destiny. It doesn't fit what God has for you.
Right.
There's plenty of jobs out there. There's plenty of deals that I could get in today, but it's not fitting for me to do it. It's not seeing if I do it. No, it ain't seeing what's going on there. It's not seeing if I do it. But what happens is it throws me off. It throws me off of my journey. And that's what you don't want. A lot of us are just jumping and taking different things, but you're getting off track of your journey. You got to prioritize what God has for you. Because listen, I always preach this and I minister this to people all the time. In your journey in life, what you go through, what you got to understand, the devil do not want you to go meet that young man, that young woman who you're supposed to meet and be in their life. The devil will try to off-track you so you cannot meet the person that you was ordained to meet next year at this time, wherever you're going to be.
He wants you out of place.
He wants you there. You go, good. Out of place. He trying to keep you out of place. Because if he can get you out of place by letting you make an extra 50,000, extra 50. If he can get you out of place and you can make an extra 50, a lot of us will take it.
Yes, we will.
But it's not that important. You got to understand that. It's not that important. You have to be where you're supposed to be, because this is life empowerment. Yep. This is one kingdom.
Yeah.
One kingdom. What you mean? We are family. We are together. And a lot of things God meant for you to meet somebody, and for you not to make a dime, it's for them to make it.
Right.
It's for you to pour into them. And we don't realize that. And guess what? And sometimes God will let you bless somebody and let you do all of that, and you ain't getting nothing back from that. Nothing. It's just for you to do that for that person.
Your reward waits for you in heaven.
Your reward waits in heaven. Come on now. Because listen,
I love it.
You are here to stop somebody from killing themselves.
That's it.
That's all prioritizing your time in life is. It really boils down to for you to be able to be in the right place at the right time for whomever you won't have to help. I'm telling you, I've never saw people chase money like they're chasing it right now. Young people chasing it, old people chasing. Every time you get on Facebook, it's some type of way to make some money. It's some type of smart that you can do to your taxes, your Airbnbs, your Venmo. It's all kind of stuff where you can make money. Should nobody be broke right now?
I don't see how.
Nobody should be broke right now because there's so much stuff that you can do and you can make it. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not the issue. The issue is you got to understand and know that whatever God has for you, you got to be in the place to where He has you.
And the mindset. To hear.
To hear. You got to
be able to process the information that He's giving out.
You got to. You got to.
And I think that's what we miss. Our minds be so plagued with other things that we just miss hearing Him. We miss. That's why it came to me. What do we say about our situations? Yeah. Because I didn't say the right stuff last week.
Come on,
the last 2 weeks. I wasn't saying the right stuff. I wasn't saying the stuff to pull me out of that situation. I was saying stuff that was going to take me deeper. My thoughts, the round and around and around thoughts that I was having concerning my situation was not the right stuff that I should have been saying.
You know what we got to say? Go ahead. You know what we got to say about that? This is what, listen to this. I want y'all to listen to me on this. It's not hard, but it's, how can I say this? What is it? It's hard. Because I'm going to tell y'all like this. And everybody on this live, you don't experience this. You see yourself going down.
You see it.
You see a problem coming. But you allow yourself to keep doing it. When you start getting depressed or when you start feeling this, you got to snap out of that. You got to stop and say, no, it's going to be better. And I get it because I've sat there and saw myself lose jobs and I've watched myself lose it. I've sat there and saw it just start doing like this. And I know what I need to do, how I need to do it, what I need to contact, what I need to do. And I didn't do it because my mind was just stuck. It was like, man, I'm going to end up losing this. Man, I'm not going to be able to make this. If I would have stopped right there.
It is, babe. Some of us be want God to just do it.
There you go.
You gonna sit up and psych yourself out so long that you just think God just gonna do it. I mean, I ain't saying that He can't do it.
There you go.
But what I know is He's giving you the ability to do it. That's just like you said, you sitting there watching yourself lose a job. Yep. You know what to do to keep it.
There you go.
You know how to keep it.
There you go.
You got everything in you to do what you need to do. But it's like mentally, we think that God is going to do this stuff for us.
Okay, pray for me. Okay, Charles Jr., my mom. Okay, is this Christy or is this the big sister?
Misunderstood.
I think this is the big sister. Let me see. Well, anyway, Father, we're going to stop right now. Father, we touch and agree.
Yes, Lord.
We look up on this young lady right now that she cover her in her bereavement.
Cover her, Lord, in the name of Jesus.
And she missed her mom and her brother. God, we ask you to look up on her.
Cover her.
Touch her. Comfort her.
Comfort.
I ask you to give her strength.
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
God, let her understand and know that she's going to have to lift herself up because sometimes nobody else will.
Yes, Lord.
But I ask you to fix it in her life.
Give her strength.
Fix it for her.
Hallelujah. Thank
Give
you,
her understanding.
Yes.
Let her know that she got to keep marching on.
Yes.
That this will be in her life.
Thank you,
And the
Jesus.
Bible said that he will not put no more on you than you could bear.
Yes,
the Bible
Lord.
said that his yoke
Thank
is
you,
easy and his
Lord.
burden is light.
Yes.
I know it's heavy now.
Do
That's
it, God.
Cassandra, that's Big Sis. I know it's heavy now.
Do
But
it,
I
God.
ask you to comfort her.
Do
Give her
it,
what
God.
she needs in you.
Comfort her, God.
In the name of
In
Jesus.
the name of
I
Jesus.
ask you to look up on her. I lay hands on her from my house to her house. Cover her. Give her strength.
Yes, Lord.
In the name of Jesus.
Thank you,
God,
Lord.
I thank you.
Oh,
I know the
my
tears
God.
flow. But God, the
Oh,
Bible
my
say,
God.
you sow tears, you shall reap joy.
That's right.
And I ask you to allow her to reap joy in her life. That she would be confident, give her understanding. God, you let her know that you did it for a reason. That you don't make any mistakes. And you did it for a reason. Give her comfort and let her understand. In Jesus' name.
Jesus'
Amen.
name.
God got you.
Amen.
God got you, girl.
Thank you,
But you
Lord.
got to see, look at that. She said she misunderstood. You hear me?
Thank you, Jesus.
God got you. But you got to understand
Thank you, Lord.
that God makes no mistakes. Listen, lost my daddy when I was
Lord.
at Southmore High School. And your dad came and took some of that place. And took some of the void out of my heart. Yes, because he always wanted to look out for me. And I appreciate Mr. Harden for that. And let me tell you something. 10th grade, I didn't understand why everybody else had a daddy and I didn't. I didn't have no daddy. In the 10th grade, he gone. But God will put people in your life. He will fill it. He will fill that void. He will show you what you need to do. But you got to have an open spirit and an open mind. You can't be into the point to where you're aggravated and frustrated. And I get it. I understand. Because I walked that way for years. For years. But your daddy came. He came in my life. He came and told me. He said, I want to take the place of your dad too. He talked to me. We worked at Cost Plus. You know I remember. He came and he looked out for me. Because I didn't have no daddy no more. And he was there for me. And just like God is going to fill that void in your life, I'm telling you, you got to hold on to God unchanging hand. Because listen, a lot of time, I'm not saying this is why God did that, but a lot of time, what's up, Lawrence? God pushes us to him even more.
Yes.
God pushes us to him.
Yes.
He pushes us to him. He's not going to force you, but he'll allow things in your life for you to come that way. Yeah, we worked at PC. Yeah, I ain't going to tell y'all what I was doing at PC. God done forgave me. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Jesus.
Priority. Listen, y'all. We got to have priority in our life. Even in this, Cassandra. You got to have priorities to understand and know, listen, I got to be able to comfort people who lost their mom, who lost their brother. I got to prioritize that in my life because you'll be so busy and so frustrated with the loss of them that you won't be able to do nothing. You'll miss the journey that God has for you. You'll miss every opportunity. Why? Because God is allowing you to go through this. Why? Because it's somebody else is going to go through this.
Somebody else going to need you.
And you're going to be able to help them.
Thank you, Lord.
You're going to be able to tell them, listen, it ain't easy, but you can make it.
Yeah.
It ain't easy. So that's why, listen, that's why God puts stuff in our life. That's why God allows stuff. And I hate to say he allows death, but he does.
Yeah.
He does. Lost my brother. Lost my father. And last August 2nd on my birthday, I lost my cousin that was like my sister.
Yeah.
Went into a depression. I didn't show it, but it was on me bad.
Yeah.
And her mother died on my birthday the year before. Yeah. So I'm like, God, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? This is crazy. But I had to prioritize it in my life and understand this and know it was a reason. And I got to be able to push on. I got to be able to keep going. What's up, Rob? I got to be able to push on. I got to be able to keep going. Because listen, it's a lot of things that God has for a lot of y'all. Yeah, when you're chosen, we have to go through. That's right. Yeah. You got to go through it. Because listen, God is making you and shaping you and molding you and getting your armor on. Why? Because it is something great. Even the things that we went through in life, I don't call it mistakes. I call it battle scars, battle wounds, because whatever we went through, that is a part of your testimony.
It sure is. Making and shaking.
Yes, sir. There go Joshua. God said, do less and he can do more. Stand still and watch the salvation of the Lord. That's what the Bible says. You got to be able to stand still and watch God. Why? Because what happened? Look at David. David had so many testimonies in the Bible. Yeah. David was by himself, and he knew that he was chosen, but he just did what? He stayed in his position, guarding the sheep, guarding the animals. He knew he was chosen, but he said, I ain't worried about it. I ain't got to tell nobody. I ain't finna go ripping and running. I ain't finna go tell nobody that God chose me. Had a dream with the arm of God. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now it's time for you to walk in it. It's time for you to walk in there.
Oh my goodness.
And see, don't do like Joseph. See, Joseph had that dream and he went and bragged to his brothers. And it detoured him.
Yeah, it did.
Because when the dream came, listen, hey Mika, when the dream came, he was gonna get it anyway. But when Joseph went and bragged that to his brothers, oh y'all, I saw y'all bowing to me. He had to go through a detour.
He went through it.
He had to go through a detour. Because sometimes God will give you something about who you are.
Yep.
You better be quiet.
Yep.
You better be quiet.
Let him do it.
Just know that it's in you to do whatever God called you to do. Because a lot of times we'll put ourselves out there. Yeah. We'll put ourselves out there.
Which opens us up to warfare.
It opens us up to warfare.
What Joseph went through, that was warfare.
That was warfare.
He had to go through it.
He had to go through it because he opened his mouth.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever God got for you, you know it's for you. You ain't got to tell nobody.
Yeah.
You ain't got to tell nobody because when God tell you this is what he called you to be, sometimes it's for folks to know, sometimes it's for not. But what did David do? He shut up. He guarded them. He guarded them sheep. He said, I'm going to sit here and listen to me, y'all.
And they tried to put everybody ahead of him.
Come on.
Can't nobody change what the Lord has spoken. Period.
Yeah, I don't care what you done, how you did it. Whatever you did, they looked up on you. But this was the cold part. In the midst of David being quiet, God prepared him by fighting the enemy from the sheep.
Sure did.
Didn't he? He prepared him. So when it was time for him to fight that giant,
he was ready.
He said, man, I'm good. and they tried to put somebody else's clothes on him.
I love it, man.
They tried to say, you need to wear this armor. He said, man, it's too big for me. I'm good. So when he went out there, he said, all I need is my slingshot. Don't pray for rain. He said, don't pray for rain and don't expect the bug. Come on, man. I feel you, Robert. And so look, and they tried to give him all of this stuff. He said, well, y'all giving me this stuff now? Y'all weren't trying to give it to me when I was defending them sheep down there. I know what I got to do. If I die, I'm going to die doing what I know what I got to do.
He knew how to defeat that devil.
And he went and defeated that devil. Why? Man, because he was by himself in his making. And God was making him. His daddy and his brother, his mama too, they all felt like he was nothing. Hey, chill out. This girl got her dogs in there. Y'all pray for her. But listen, they sit there and counted him out. But you know what he did in the midst of his getting counted out? He prioritized his time. Come on. He sat down there and he sung. He made worship songs to God. And guess what? While he made worship songs to God, he fell in love with God. That's the key.
Come on.
See, if you get too busy, you won't be able to fall in love. If I get too busy for her and don't remember me and her, the love will start doing like this. So that's why the enemy wants you so busy and wants you so caught up doing this, chasing money, chasing this, chasing that, that you'll be so busy to where you and God won't have no relationship. Right. And if y'all don't got no relationship, you can't fall in love with him. Because if you fall in love with God, sweetheart, I'm telling you, baby, if you fall in love with God, guess what happens? No weapon. No weapon.
So true.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper. But if you doubt and don't love him, because the Bible says perfect love casts out what? All fear. What do you mean perfect love? God, I love you despite of.
Yes.
I said, what's going on, Henry? I often say this all the time. Yes. When the 3 Hebrew boys, they said, look, even if we die, we know you can do it. But the question of the night is, where was Daniel? When the three Hebrew boys was raised by Daniel, he taught them about the Lord. He walked them through. He showed them what to eat. He showed them all of this. And then all of a sudden, the Bible said that it was the three Hebrew boys that didn't bow. Why they didn't bow? Because Daniel taught them not to bow. Why was Daniel? God took away their crutch. Yes. They had to prioritize themselves in the middle of their journey, in the middle of their battle. They had to prioritize themselves to say, listen, even without our mentor, we're going to go in there and burn up if we have to. We got to stand. So when they went in there, they said, look at us. They said, look, okay, we're not going to bow. We're going to go up in there. But listen, even if we die, that you know what that means? That they fell in love with it. Because what they said is, if we die, we're going to go up there with him anyway. Lord. So it don't even matter. And guess what? And when they went in there, they said, hold on. The people that was about to put them in there, the fire was so hot they got burned.
That's it. That's it.
But they said it don't matter. They didn't choke up. They didn't choke up like some of these movie stars and these football and basketball players when they stand up for God. And then when they come down and tell them, if you don't take that back, we're going to take your endorsements and we're going to take your movies. They didn't do that. They said, no matter what.
No matter what. They stood.
We're going to stand.
Can we do it today? Can we do it
But it falls back to prioritizing yourself so you won't get too busy to where you fall out of love with God.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And look, I see all these movie stars. I see all these people, and they want to say what they say something that they mean, and then all of a sudden they got to come back and say, "I take that back." Why?
That's how you felt.
That's how you felt.
You're not entitled to that.
But you got so busy in the acting, you got so busy in the sports that you didn't fall in love with Jesus.
Yeah.
Because if you love Him, it no matter whatever happens.
Jesus.
It don't matter if they take all your checks. And I know that's hard to say.
That's hard.
Listen,
we're touching that money.
I know it's hard to say. But that's a part of the exit plan. We'll talk about that later. But that you have to understand. See, God always makes provisions for you.
Jesus.
But we have to understand the provisions that He make for you. You got to be a wise steward.
Come on here.
If you're not a wise steward, you will blow all the provisions. And then when it's time to do right, you don't have nothing to live on, so you have to depend on them. That makes you take everything back. Come on. Jesus. God gives you a provision. He gives you what you need to do. Right. He tells you, don't do this, put it here, put it there. But we don't listen a lot of times. We do what we call keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
So once we do that, now we're trapped and we're slaved by the employer. Now you can't speak how you want to speak. You can't talk how you want to talk because now they hold your life in the palm of their hands.
Yeah.
God has blessed us. He has blessed all of us. He has blessed us with so much to where we should have made provisions for ourselves when the storm comes, when the famine comes.
Right.
We should be able to understand and know. When you tell yourself, oh man, I can't make ends meet. You could make ends meet. God has made provisions for you. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you didn't make all of it what you thought you should, but it was still some provisions. You know why? What the provisions was at? Your income tax check. Stop playing. But you blew it.
That's stimmy.
Huh? That's stimmy. That's what you call it. That's stim check.
That's
you blew it. They said the Louis Vuitton line was long all out the door. And guess what happened? In the Louis Vuitton, let me say this to y'all. In the Louis Vuitton line was packed out the door. We don't know him, first of all. And second of all, he became the richest man in the world. After the stem just came, that man became the richest man in the world for a minute. Because everybody was buying Louis.
That's crazy.
And you know what hurts me with Louis Vuitton?
That's crazy. When I think about all these name brand stuff and these purses, all of this stuff, I think, I'm like, this is off topic, but
we're fine.
This is it's a big game just to make folks broke
Yeah.
Because if you carrying a Louis, I'm grateful, all of that. We like it, it's cute, whatever. But your credit jacked up, what is the point?
What's the point?
If you wearing all this name brand stuff and all of this,
that's not our subject. That's
and your bottom line is not in order.
Come on.
What is the point?
What's the point?
You doing it for people. You doing it to look a certain way.
There you go.
And your bottom line is raggedy.
That's prioritizing.
Your life is really raggedy.
You own it. You're not off the subject because that's being, you prioritizing your,
oh my God.
the provisions that God made for you.
I'm like, I don't desire it anymore.
And you know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
That was basically, I'm just saying, I don't desire it anymore. What I desire is to get all this raggedy stuff
fixed.
Come
on. Credit.
Everything that
land.
makes me who I am.
There you go.
I want my name
Taxes.
to mean something and not this raggedy stuff that's real, our real life, the real life raggedy stuff. This raggedy stuff that we're not taking the time to prioritize so that we can get this stuff taken care of. Because it's not like it's not in our control to fix this stuff. God has already given us the knowledge. He's given us what we need to get this stuff taken care of. But because we are so caught up in this world and caught up in these systems, go back to the exit plan, we're missing it.
We're missing it. And you know what hurt me? Go ahead, man.
Which is wearing us out. First of all, these systems is wearing us out because you're trying to keep up with a system that is, in real life, they jacked up.
The system.
I ain't saying nothing about the companies that we work for that sends us work.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for them. I love them. But the system is messed up.
Well,
it really is.
It is messed up. And you got to be able to deal with that. Because you got to be able to have an exit plan. Yes. So this is what I'm telling about the Louis. You were talking about the Louis a while ago.
Yeah.
Guess what about the Louis? Go do your research. If you go do your research on Louis, listen, this might don't mean nothing to you, but I'm a legacy guy. Mm-hmm. I'm a family guy.
Yeah.
This guy had nothing to do with Louis Vuitton.
The guy that owned it.
The guy that owned it right now, he bought it. Mr. Louis, he was making luggage. He made luggage.
Wow.
And then the war hit, they went out of business, and then he started it back up again.
Man.
Making luggage, and then they started making handbags. But guess what? His son them took over. And then after he died, his son took over. And then after his son got a certain age, he passed away. And then more relatives, and then they kept going to where it never had no more legacy. The guy just ended up buying it from them.
Wow.
Never got it out the mud with them.
Wow.
He profited off of somebody else. He profited off of somebody else. Will there be you?
That's one way to get it, though.
Yeah.
That's one way to get it.
What you mean?
Because what happened? Why wasn't it able to keep going in their family?
I don't like it. They wasn't prepared.
They wasn't prepared.
That's
the whole point.
They didn't teach it.
It
was
stopped.
not prepared.
Why did it ever stop? It was never supposed to stop.
You
You're supposed to keep pouring in to your folks.
Man, it's an interesting story. Because the son,
that's a trip.
They end up opening another store against his will. But it did great.
Jesus.
But it ended up breaking off.
Because you don't know what was what was behind it.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? If you dig deeper and look at that story and see what really happened, you will know why it broke off.
Yeah.
Because something like that's supposed to continue. How does that break off?
You got to have your priorities straight.
That's just like us.
Yes.
If we don't get this raggedy stuff fixed, at some point it's going to break, right?
Gonna break. Even though you're building for your kids, you're building to have a legacy, you're building, if you don't do it the right way, if your priorities is not right,
there will be no longevity.
There will be nothing in it. That's why one of my favorites is Mr. Walton. I always talk about him. He was the man. He's still the man, and he's dead and gone because his priorities were straight. his son through newspapers as a kid. But you know what his son Jim did? Jim said, "Daddy, I'm gonna give you my money from the newspapers to invest in the stores."
Man.
What's up, Coach Fluke? He invested in the stores.
In the Walmart.
In the Walmart. He gave his dad every dime he made off of his newspaper route.
Come on.
And when he did that, look what kind of fortune it is now. That's why he's the leader of the pack. Jim Martin.
Wow.
Go look him up. So what I'm saying is, it's the priority of the fact. Priority in your Christian life, priority in your business life, priority in your personal life. You got to have priority. Your priorities got to be straight. Yeah. I can preach, and with the church we have, we can preach till the walls fall down. But if we don't put things in order and have priority in the church, it suits us nothing.
Yeah.
It would have nothing. It would have no meaning, no substance, no nothing. It will have nothing. You got to have a vision, but you got to have priorities. We can go out and go do this right now. With the money that we make, we can go out and go buy a building. Go rent a building. Yeah. We can go rent a building, not talking about anybody. We can go rent a storefront. We can go rent whatever. But we're not, God has called people to do that. But he didn't call us to go rent this, rent that. Our priorities is to invest in our future. Yeah. To buy. And when you find the right deal, to buy. And as you buy, you keep it moving.
Right. Right.
Why? Because that is the priority that God has us on. What is your priority?
You got to know.
You got to know. Listen, it could be something as simple as you need to keep your room clean every day. Yeah. Clean up your house. That's your number one priority.
Remember when we started making our bed every day?
Come on now. Something as simple as that.
Making our bed every day.
Something as simple as that we didn't used to make.
I don't even know how long we have been married.
Yeah.
But now it's just in us to do.
Yeah. Some people don't do that. They come back home, they go wake up, and they go back to a messed up bed. But when you made that bed, that says something.
What made us do that?
Because I think I had told you I had lost a bunch of weight back in the day, and I said that's how I started losing, because I had to commit myself to something, and it kept me going.
Yeah. Now it's just second nature. We're gonna make sure
we're gonna make this, and then we're gonna do the rest of our day.
And that's what we need to do in everything.
In everything.
Just
as simple as making a bed.
To doing it.
You got to commit yourself into something every day. Yeah. Commit yourself into something that's gonna keep you going. If it's kissing your wife, see you later. Commit yourself to that. Mm-hmm. Commit yourself. Start slow, and then prioritize your day. I'm not going to knock all of this out. I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm going to do that the next day. I'm going to put out fires instead of just spray water on all the fire.
Right.
I'm going to put out fires over here. I'm not going to just spray water everywhere. I'm going to put fires out here, then go here. Yeah. Because we are so busy. We're so caught up. That's why we're wore out. That's why we're wore out, y'all. Mm-hmm. Because we're doing so much, and then we need a break. We need a break. We need a break. We need a break. Why? Because we're not prioritizing ourselves. Nothing's work. I read a book called, what's the name of that book? Build to Sell. Build your business to sell. No matter if you want to sell your business, it's just if you make your business sellable, it runs itself. So that's what you got to do with your life. He had to cut, in the book, he had to cut his main money person go, because it was doing him no good. And he had to start over to make his priorities right. He had to start over to do the things that made small amount, but in the future it made it to the point to where he got it to where he needed it. Instead of getting beat up by the person that's giving you all this money. Yeah. He had to prioritize, and the guy that was helping him told him, you got to cut them loose. He said, that's my biggest money maker. He said, but it's not doing you any good.
Ooh, that's mean.
And it was tough for him.
And that's crazy, because that's how we would have thought about it.
Yeah.
I can't let that go. That's paying these bills. What are you talking about?
He had to
but sometimes you have to dial it back to be able to get to where you're trying to go.
You got to
dial and it sounds crazy. It looks weird because that just don't make no sense. Why am I going to stop making this money?
Yep. But sometimes you have to let the biggest thing in your life go sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Because, what's up, D-Lo? You got to let the biggest thing sometime in your life go because you're dependent on that and you're not ready for that. And you think that you won't make it without it, but sometimes you're going to have to let that go because you're not ready for it.
Yep.
Because guess what? The thing that he was making the most money for, he struggled with somebody doing it. But the thing that he was making the less money for, that's what he knew how to do very good.
Come on.
So what he did is he cut the big one loose and he marketed it. What he could do very good, and it outweighed that. He didn't even have to go to the office no more. Because he had to prioritize himself.
Come on.
And you have to understand some things you got to let go.
So good.
Some things you got to let go. Like I let that KFC go, all the KFC buildings. I said, you know what? I just did this too. It's funny we talk about it because I just did this. I said, you know what? This ain't for me.
Come on.
I said, you know what? I'm going to let that go. Because I can use that. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal, especially for you because you ain't letting no money go.
But I said, you know what? I can use this time to do something else. To make something else. Because guess what? I bred my company for residential. I bred my company for drains and residential. Yes, I'm in drains over here with him, but guess what? It's not residential. And he could have been paying me more. Had contracts every 6 months and whenever he called and keep going. But I said, that's not my priority. That's not my priority. That's not my niche. Yeah. So why am I doing it? And some people will say, man, you better go make that money. It's not my niche.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this away from my time to go do this, which he paid now. Don't get me wrong, never had a problem. Don't argue about money. He don't do none of that. Yeah. But I had to prioritize.
Come on.
What's up, E? I had to prioritize. I already talked about your book. I had to prioritize my time.
Yes.
So I said, okay, to KFCs. I said, you know what? And I was sitting in the truck and I was thinking, and I said, you know what? I'm cutting them loose. Because this is not on my prioritized list. So let somebody else keep that KFC. They can do all of them. That's not for me.
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Yeah. Like I said, sometimes you got to let the biggest thing in your life go to get to where you got to go.
Yep.
You got to prioritize it.
It's so good.
You got to let the biggest thing sometime in your life go. Because guess what? Yes, it's making provisions. Yes, it's doing this and that for you. Yes, but it's a burden also.
Ooh.
But you rather live with the burden because it's carrying you.
Yeah. Because that money gives us comfort.
Come on. And it's not even just money. It's people.
That's right.
Sometimes the biggest supporter or biggest person in your life, you got to let them go. Because guess what? That's not in your prioritizing list.
Yeah.
What's up, V? Nonstop. You got to be able to understand and know what's in your prioritizing list.
Yeah.
You got to know this. Because guess what? Your list of priorities. Because the biggest thing in your life that you think that's really carrying you is really your pacifier. And you're sucking on this pacifier and not getting no nutrients. You're not getting no protein. You're not getting no vitamins because you're living off this so-called thing in your life that you think that's helping you, but it's really not helping you.
You're right.
It's crippling you. It's deforming you. You're becoming retardation because you're dependent on it so much. But you got to understand, you got to come from up under them.
That's so
come from up under that job. Come from up under that person. Come from up under that weight. And God has sent people like E your way to go off on you so bad to make you do things that you wasn't comfortable with.
Come on here.
And that's the part of life that we got to understand. Some of you gonna have to let some stuff go, man.
Gotta let it go.
Yeah, because it ain't really helping you. You think it's bringing in some bread, or you thinking it's giving you some knowledge. Man, that stuff ain't doing nothing for you or pacifying you.
Man.
Because guess what? When I first started the company, guess what happened to me? I was working. What's up, neighbor? You know her neighbor's birthday was yesterday.
Yep.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. When I first started the plumbing company, I had all the work in the world. I mean, all the work, man. You hear me? Everything, all the work in the world, bro. But I didn't do it because my boss, that was my boss before I left, wasn't there. I passed all that money up. Why? Because I was pacified by them. And once I had come from away from them, I had to learn to do this stuff on my own.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have never got to where I'm at if I'd still been sucking on a pacifier with them.
Yep.
I never forget, they came to me and they said,
had to be pushed
out. They said, can y'all
kicked out?
You made $1 million this month. I said, I made $1 million. They said, yeah, you hit $1 million this month for us.
You're
I said, I hit $1 million? They said, yeah. And the first thing come in my mind, I said, what I'm gonna get? That man gave me I think $100 Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Red Lobster gift card.
Yeah.
I ain't hating on them. You can make all the money you want to. I ain't tripping.
He didn't have to give you that.
He didn't have to give me that, but guess what? They was providing food for my family because that's where I was getting my check from. But I had to get away. I had to come from up under them. Actually, he fired me and told me I need to start my own company. But that was the way of God saying you got to get away from the pacifier.
Yeah.
To start your own thing. He just called me the other day on the job at the airport to do big lump sum job.
Yeah.
But I'd have never got this opportunity.
Yeah.
If I'd stuck with it.
That's right.
I had to get away from it. And go out like the eagle do her babies. Push off the nest.
Yeah.
And once you get pushed out the nest, now you start doing your priorities.
That's right.
You got to line your stuff up. It's stuff in your life right now that you know that's jacked up and you want to fix it. You do. I get it. You want to fix it, but you're sitting there looking at it.
Yeah.
I wonder how much money I made to the sheriff department today. Boy, you done made the sheriff department a whole bunch of money.
A whole lot.
A whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to understand, I'm not just telling people, leave, y'all do this, but you got to understand your priorities.
Yeah.
You got to put them on, you write them down. Yeah. Write them down, Kinfolk. Put your priorities down.
Yeah.
And understand and realize what you need to do. Because I often tell people this.
Yeah.
All the time. You got to be able to have an exit plan.
Yes.
Because if you don't have an exit plan, I guarantee you most people that have a job that's not having an exit plan, I give them 3 weeks to a month after they're laid off and they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
You're right. You're right.
They're in very much trouble.
You're right.
And the stuff that's going on today, listen to me, the stuff that's going on today, you better be worried. That's why we're buying land, y'all. That's why we're buying land. Yeah. That's why we're building. That's why we're getting stuff together. Because like I told her, we're going to get to the point to the case to where if everything fall down, we can go to Walmart and check receipts for a living.
Come on
and
here.
Be okay.
And be okay.
Okay? But how many of us can say that? Can we say?
That's the deal. That's what the exit plan is all about.
Yes.
Still live life, still work your job, but don't let it work you.
Don't let it work you.
And you working it, but don't be letting it work you to the point
to where you almost
that you don't have the capacity
to do nothing else. There you go.
You can't even hear something else. You so caught up in this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. This is why we work the way we work, because we working for a certain lifestyle. We want to live a certain way. We want to be this kind of comfortable that we miss putting back, that we miss when we hear the opportunity to get land. We don't have the capacity, the mental capacity to understand that if you ain't got money, if you ain't got land, you don't have nothing really. Because the money is leaving.
That's it.
Right?
It's disappearing.
The money is leaving right before our eyes, y'all.
It's going to digital. They can't make my land digital.
To have the mental capacity to be able to hear past what you hear, to be able to see past what you see is what he's talking about. To understand when the Holy Spirit tell you, don't spend everything, put something up and keep putting something up, or whatever, however he's directing you. That's what the exit plan is all about. Not being so caught up in being comfortable in this world that you miss your exit.
Listen, use them as they use you. My boy E is on here right now. Throw your link to your, what's going on, Roz? Throw your links to your book. Roz, we're going to get your book. It's called A Switch Within.
Hey, lady.
As my partner.
She need it.
Yeah, we're going to get her the book. It's called A Switch Within. My partner Eric is on live right now. Throw your link up there, Eric, for the Switch Within. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. This brother gave me this book called A Switch Within. That's why I learned to stock. That's why, there you go, the stock market. Best investment I made in myself. Great. There you go. There you go, nonstop. Listen, the Switch Within hit me and turned my whole life around. Sitting in the backyard, reading it, listening to it. So I got to the point where I got addicted to it. I just would listen to it on Audible. And I tell you right now, I would advise you to buy the book and go get it on Audible. The book is not expensive. Invest it in your life. It's my buddy named E. And I'm not saying it because he's on my live, but it switched some stuff in me. It turned the switch on within me to make an exit plan. It's just a continuation of his book, honestly.
Changes your mind.
It made a continuation. The reason why the exit plan is so important, listen, y'all, every time we get to preaching, we come back to exit plan because it's so important.
Yeah.
Listen, it's so important, just like when Joseph, when he told his brothers, we were talking about that earlier, there you go, thank you for the link. When he told his brothers, hey man, God showed me that y'all was going to bow to me, and they got mad and threw him, and he went through all of this stuff.
Tell Eric to go to the church page. And
go to the church page, the One Kingdom page, and put it on there too.
Put it on there.
I'll put it on there too. But listen, when Joseph told his brothers and all that, Joseph went through all of this, but God gave Joseph a dream, right? Mm-hmm. And the dream was the exit plan for that country.
Yes,
so when he went and told the king, he said, look, bro, you in 3 years, it's going to be a famine. You got to put some stuff up. You better go put this food up. And guess what? And when they had the exit plan, everybody had to come to them.
Right. Sure did.
So they had food to feed everybody because they stocked up. That's all we tell you. Stock up. Use the people as they use you. Make your money. Do what you got to do. Never leave. You ain't got to leave them. But be prepared if you get kicked out.
That's it. Being prepared.
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? No, yes, sir. What are you doing with what are you doing? What's going on, big boy? Big boy. What are you doing with the provisions that God is making for you? You got to prioritize them.
Yeah.
If you don't prioritize them, you're nothing. What did the Bible say about the people? Okay, it was 3 people. God gave him some talents. He gave 3 people talents. One guy went and flipped it. The other guy went and flipped it. The other guy went and buried it. Is you going to bury it? Is you going to bury it?
Yeah.
When he buried it, God said, boy, give your money to the one that flipped the most because you ain't worth nothing. I gave you provisions. The Bible said he gave all 3 of them talents. What's up, Jeffrey? Philippe boy. All 3 of them talents. Mm-hmm. He gave all 3 of them talents, and the 2 flipped theirs. Mm-hmm. But that one, yes, sir, love you, fam. But that one didn't do nothing. He took his money and he buried it.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of us are doing. You burying it because you thinking that your employer is going to take care of you the rest of your life. Prioritize.
That's it.
Prioritize. Where are you at?
That's it.
Where you at?
That's it.
Where you at? You got to prioritize, because if you don't, listen, I'm going to show you. Go ahead.
What do we tell the kids? Everything has an expiration
Everything
date.
got an expiration date on it.
It ain't going to stay the same
So
forever.
guess what? Your job got one.
That's it. At some point, they gonna replace you.
Yeah.
Something gonna happen.
Your company got one.
Get up out of there.
Your company got an expiration
company
date.
Gonna shut down, whatever the case is.
But if you what God gave with the provision that He gave you with your company or your business, guess what? You make it to where you straight.
That's it.
Most people call it retirement.
Yeah.
But guess what? Some people, I see older people, 70s, 80s, they still work. Why?
Yeah.
Because they never had an exit plan.
Yeah. Man.
They never had an exit plan. I look at my own mom. She get a check every month. That's fine. She got a house. Me and my brother, blessed her, get paid off. But what if we didn't do that for her? What if we wasn't here to help her? I ain't down in my mom.
Working.
She would have to keep
working.
Bad knees.
Man.
What would she be doing? Come on. Come on. I see so many people right now saying what they had.
Right.
What they had. I had this. I had that. What's up, that boy? I had this. I had that.
Yeah.
But what happened to it?
What happened?
It's gone. No exit plan.
Yeah.
No exit plan. One thing I had to realize, man, you could be replaced anywhere at any time. Just because you got your own business don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It don't mean nothing. If you're not using the provisions that God blessed you with your business to build something for yourself and to put up for when the famine comes, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
And I ain't just talking about like the man buried the money just by putting it in the bank and letting it sit there and looking at your ATM slip all the time. That's doing what that man did with them talents. You just burying your money.
I want to see that big.
You just want to see that big lump sum in the bank all the time. You burying your talents. God gave you the money, the provisions to do something with it.
Yeah.
Not to just let it sit in the bank.
That's it.
Because guess what? Let me give you a secret on this. Some of you probably already know this. When you put your money in the bank flips your money.
Yep.
So what they do, the money that you give them, they use that money to flip. And if you want to get it back, that's fine. You can get it back and you don't even get paid interest on it. They use your money to put in IRAs and all of this stuff to flip your money. Go look it up. I ain't got to lie to you. Go look what the banks do with your money. They take your money and use it to flip. They use your money to give builders a loan to build houses.
Yep.
They use your money to give the rich, to let them borrow the money that you put in there and to make interest off of the money that you got sitting in the bank.
It's a whole situation.
So what you're doing, you're burying your talent when you put it in, just let it sit in the bank. You're letting it sit in the bank and somebody else is flipping your money.
Come on. Jeez.
And God is saying, I understand you saving your money, I understand you putting it up, but what are you doing with it?
Yep.
Land. Insurance policies that you can borrow from yourself.
Yep.
Come on. Some type of business where you can flip it. It's always something you can do with that.
Yes.
We're gonna do a series on the story about the talents because did you catch the revelation of it? Talents.
Yes.
What is your talent?
Yes.
What's your talent? What's your gift? Prioritize, man.
Yeah.
Listen, we ain't getting no younger. We're not getting any younger. Bill Gates bought 85% of the land, of the farmland in the U.S.
Why?
One of the richest men in the world, but he put his money in what? Land.
He had enough capacity.
Come on, man. He put it in the bank. The man bought 85% of the farmland in America. Why? What you doing?
Goodness.
You can't make land digital. What can you do with the land? You can tax me, but I can put a whole bunch of stuff on this land where my taxes will be cheap.
Yes, indeed.
So now you're not taxing me off my money, you're taxing me on the land, and I'm getting benefits because I'm putting farm stuff on it.
We got to shake out of this mindset.
Come on.
Shake out of this space. Y'all, this started with, what do you say about your situation? This is what this conversation
What you say about your situation? With. And that's why we want our money now. That's why I'm learning to sell notes. No, on a finance, I finance. Pay me every month. Why? Because I don't get the lump sum. We want the lump sum. But if you pay me every month, it's less of taxes, number one. And I have residual coming in every month. Come on. I have this stuff. I don't want you to just give me all my money up front. For what?
Shift our mindset.
Shift us. Pay me once a month on a percentage. Why? Because what's happening is that's not in the bank anymore. You're paying me once a month. That's my talents flipping itself.
Yes, indeed.
So people say, I can't sit there and do that. If I spend $60,000, I put somebody on a note, well, the note that you put the $60,000 on is going to make you $120,000, $180,000. What do you mean?
Yep.
Because we never look at the interest. We never look at the maturity of the loan.
Lord.
We got to be able to think, what is your priority, man?
Yep.
Is your priority to build somebody else's painful, but the reward is great? There you go, shifting your mindset.
Yeah.
Listen, are we gonna build somebody else's legacy?
Yeah.
Like I say, Walmart is one of my favorite dudes, man. I tell you, I just read him, I done studied it. But if you're gonna work and be number one for them,
right,
you're building a legacy for his great, 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 great grandkids.
Yep.
You're running his stores, but guess what? His great, 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 great grandkids would never know you.
My God.
But they would know they did Pawpaw.
Come on. Yep.
They'll know him, but they'll never know you.
Because he did the hard stuff. He did it.
Stuff.
He did it. He made the painful decision.
There you go. And it was a great reward.
Yes. He did it.
When I worked for that company and they told me I made them that $1 million that month, that man grandkids don't know me.
So crazy.
His family don't know me.
But they reaped the benefits.
But they reaped my spit. But I came home and had to bless them.
With $100.
But I blessed his great grandkids.
Forever.
I blessed his family. Don't get me wrong, some people are not even made to run a business. I get it. But what I'm telling you is, we all supposed to be building on something.
We all supposed to be leaving inheritance
on something.
I mean, come on.
One of our rules.
It ain't gotta be no business.
One of our rules with our kids is gonna be in my will. Me and her gonna have to be on the fireplace. A picture. A picture of us. You ain't getting nothing.
Working too hard.
Unless we on the fireplace. Because all the grandbabies and great, they gonna know what I look like. They gonna know what I look like. Yeah. Ooh. You gonna have a picture of just cheese and like, but you gonna know what I look like. You gonna know what I look. You gonna know what my wife look like too. You gonna have to. Why? Because Walmart, they know what he look like.
That man.
Dave and Wendy's, they know what he look like. Ooh. KFC, they know what he look like. Why they don't know what I look like?
So good. So good.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chris. It may not be a popular conversation, but it's valuable. Because listen, we about to get out of here, but your priorities got to be on point, man.
Yes.
And I love Chris, you know why? Chris, he was the band man, did the fool out there at Carter, but he is motivating us for legacy of healthiness. I look at his dinners every night. I look at what he do. He's working out. He's dropping weight. Boom, gone. Weight gone. Why? Because it's a legacy for them babies.
We need it though.
You got to have it. What's up, Mr. Love?
We need
it's a legacy for them babies.
We need it.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I love when people get on there, because whatever they done, I shout them out for it. Yeah. Because it's all a part of this. It's all a part of your priorities. Yeah. His priority was, now, bro, I got to get this off me.
That's right. He's setting a standard
for He's setting a standard for everybody.
And for those that see him.
Those that see him. That's what it's about. He's setting a standard. What's up, Mr. Love? Good to see you. I know you're on that motorcycle roller. But that's the Cisco boy. But listen, I thank God for y'all tonight. Yes. Priority. Get your priorities together, man. I don't care if it start out by cleaning your house. Get your priorities together. Write them down. Because you got to have a plan. You got to be ready for this exit plan, okay? You got to be ready to do what you have to do. You must be ready. Amen. You must be ready. Most people right now, if the employee come to them and say, we're cutting your position, you ain't going to know what to do.
Going to be scrambling trying to.
You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. Because that's what that was society.
Yeah.
Come on, look at neighbor. I'm going to get my priorities on point. It's already on point, neighbor. Just don't bring no marbles to the game, though. Inside joke. She know what I'm talking about. But listen, the priorities, man.
Yeah.
We got to have the mindset to do what we got to do.
We got to do it.
Because guess what? We have more faith in our employee than we do God.
Basically.
Because we go there and get a check.
Basically.
And have faith enough that we finna get that check Friday.
Every week.
Shoot. Have faith like them all.
Every week.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ain't no doubt in our mind.
Keep working now.
The check is coming.
I ain't mad at you. But do something that your heart desires, something that you know, that you got on you, that you can make money with. Come on, somebody. Yeah. Do something on the side that you know that you got a passion for.
Right.
Let your employee sponsor what you're doing until it grows.
Your employer.
Let your employer sponsor your dream.
Yeah. Yep.
Let your employee sponsor your dream. How can I do that? I'm making a little bit at a time.
Yeah. We always think we got to do everything.
It don't got to be quick.
No.
Nah.
You building something.
We sold books on Amazon. What else we done?
So much.
We done so much. Had a little dollar store. Dollar store did great. She just didn't like it. I mean, we did everything, but we started a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. Listen to me. I'm finna close. Yeah. When them folks told me, when I bought us Spurs a long time ago, I tell them, thank you for the part all that time. For their part all. There you go. Listen, when I had bought her some birds back in the day, she killed them. They did. But I mean, we're not buying no more birds. Listen.
Birds die.
Yeah, you kill them. But listen, the man told me at the store, he said, if this bird die, bring it back. I said, why? He said, because we pay people to bury them properly. Now, all I saw in my head was somebody walking out with a bag full of animals and throwing them in the nearest trash can.
Oh, man.
So you're telling me somebody get paid to come to all the Petcos to get the dead animals and go bury them properly?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, it's always something out here for you to do.
Yeah.
I saw a man walking a dog. It wasn't his dog. I said, what you doing now? I was in the house. He walked in these people's house. What you doing? He said, man, I walk dogs for a living. I said, you do what? He said, I walk dogs for a living. I said, what you mean you walk dogs for a living? He said, I got customers to where they pay me to walk their dogs.
Yep.
Priority, man. It's always something.
I love it.
It's always something. You can make a business pretty much out of anything.
Anything.
And don't have really much to start. You don't have to have. How much do it start that man to walk a dog? How much money does it really start somebody to go walk a dog?
How much does it cost?
How much does it cost?
Nothing.
To start a business to walking dogs.
Nothing.
What does it cost to bury a bird? A shovel? And find some dirt.
You need a shovel. And
I'm pretty sure they're going into a trash can. Ain't nobody burying no animal. Ain't nobody.
Ken, it's people that love this stuff Do you understand?
But I'm talking about
they're not throwing. That's what I'm saying.
But you gonna bury the animal if they pay you?
I'm not gonna do it. That's not my thing.
But what if they hire you to go bury the animals? You gonna bury them or you gonna put
I'm gonna get them. They paying me to do a service.
What you gonna do?
It's a way that you bury a bird.
You gonna put them in the ground?
Put them in the ground. I guess that's how you do it. I don't know.
She going straight to the dumpster.
You going to the dumpster. They paying for a service. You got to get a service now.
So I say all that to say, look, priorities, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Priorities, man. I love y'all, man. May the Lord smile on you, man.
This was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation tonight.
Watch what you're saying about your situation. Recap. And prioritize.
Prioritize. Watch what you say about your situation. What you say?
Oh, taxidermy. Taxidermy.
You could do anything.
I gotta look that up, girl.
Love you too, Sister Katie. Katie, you coming to the church.
Hey, Sister Katie.
You gonna come to Arlington,
That's Mama Katie. That's Mama Katie.
1110 West Harris. You coming. If I got to pick you up, you coming. And you know you coming. 1110 West Harris, Arlington, Texas.
Oh,
you coming.
Hold up, y'all.
You coming.
I just learned something new.
What?
Taxidermy. The art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals with lifelike effect.
They're going to the trash. I'm not.
Some people want to keep that.
Okay. I'm not stuffing them. They're going to the trash. Okay? Listen. Hey,
that's
I love my dog.
Business. Some people
that is a great business.
business.
I love my dog, but I'm not finna get now one of my dogs stuffed and put in my house. Cause I got, I use bathroom a lot throughout the morning, and I'm not gonna get up and see my dog like that. I ain't gonna do that.
Screaming.
Cause I get real emotional about my dog when they get sick. So I'm not gonna stuff my dog, and my dog sitting in my living room stuffed, just standing there. I ain't gonna be able to do that.
That would be good.
That's a blessing if y'all can do that.
Some folks.
No, what she say? No stuffed and all the walls.
On the walls about a fire.
I'm not gonna be able to do that, sister y'all. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
I just don't think it's none of our type of people that do that.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Ooh.
There's a whole bunch of people that do that.
Ooh.
Talking about the birds.
I'm
not gonna do them birds neither. Because she kills the birds, and I'm thinking the birds coming back to hunt us. You ever saw the killer mockingbird? Yes, ma'am. Dana, I'm gonna see you later, neighbor. I'm gonna see you later, neighbor.
Bye, neighbor.
Listen, y'all. We got to go, man. I think she got to. We got to go to the store.
Yeah, I got to run to the store.
Yeah, we got to go get some meat for the dogs. We got to go feed them tonight.
No, Yana, I just don't think it's no brown skinned people that do that.
There's plenty of brown folks that do that. Trust me, plenty of them. But listen,
that's crazy.
Man, we love y'all, man.
Y'all so much.
I appreciate y'all supporting us. Check us out Sunday, 10 o'clock, man. 10 o'clock.
Exactly right.
Yes, it is, Rob.
Ain't none of us doing that, man. We're not waking up to no dead.
Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, 1110 West Harris Road, Suite 106. All on One Kingdom Church on the Facebook page. We go live every Sunday. One Kingdom Church. If you haven't if you haven't followed the page, please get on there and follow our page on One Kingdom Church. Follow One Kingdom like it and follow it on One Kingdom Church on Facebook. We love y'all, may the Lord smile on you. If you're not saved, Father, forgive me. I am a sinner.
Yeah.
Come on and visit Miss Misunderstood Cassandra. Father, forgive me. I am a sinner. I ask you to come into my heart. I believe that your son died on the cross. He rose on the third day. Yes. Thank you for saving me, Lord. If you said that prayer, you saved. You got some work to do, but you saved.
Got work to do.
But listen,
you did the first step.
Y'all come see us, man. Look, we have a church out of our office, but we can hold, some people, about 30, 40 people. Which we're doing.
Don't be adding to.
How many people?
We don't want nobody standing up.
Hey, listen, they standing up, baby. Listen, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Appreciate the turnout on Sundays. Listen, on Father's Day, we having if you know the books of the Bible, you get $100. You got to say it in front of me, not on Zoom, not on record, because you're going to be cheating. I need you to come in front of me and say it. You're going to get $100. If you know your books of the Bible. No stammering, no messing up. I ain't giving you another chance.
No starting over.
No starting over. You're going to have to run through them bad boys. I need you to know this for younger people, older people, whoever. Because we do need to know the books of the Bible. Because guess what? One day, they might take their Bible, She said, "Can I bring a chair?"
Bring your chair.
Girl, we got plenty of chairs. Come on, we got plenty of chairs. But listen, we love y'all.
40. He gonna have you standing up. I'm telling you.
How many people can fit about 30?
Probably 30.
40. They're gonna sit in that back part in the front. But they can sit in that back part. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hear the word of the Lord. Hallelujah.
Just be in the building.
Just be in the building. Yes, sir. Be in the building because God is blessing us. Listen, we're looking for people to sing. Come on through and sing. You want to hear that anointing on your voice? Come on. We love for folks to come on through and sing.
Yes.
Sing, praise the Lord. We love it. We got people that go forth. My baby girl, she gonna always come through on that song. Kiana come through on that song. We thank God. She been blessing us. And my baby girl Jazz gonna come through with it. Trin gonna sing one day, but Trin trying to hide behind the camera. But I'm gonna get him that camera. But listen, that oldest boy Matthew, shh, don't say nothing. He gonna sing one day. We gonna get him
one day.
My oldest son.
One day.
We gonna get him up there. He rapping right now. But he gonna be singing at the church. But listen, we love y'all.
She'll sit at the front at the altar.
You said what?
She said she'll sit at the front at the altar.
Come on, sit at the front. Come on, sit at the front. It don't even matter. But listen, One Kingdom is growing every day. And we thank God for what he's doing. And we're looking forward for God to bless us with that building to buy. We ain't renting. To buy. Right. And when he do, we're just gonna grow even more. We thank God for what he's doing, man. We love it. But we want to do a what you call that? What? A series on the marketplace. On the marketplace things, man. Building, selling, how to do things for yourself. How to do these things. We want to invite other people in. We want to talk about this. We want to do this right because we want to help each other on what they need to do for building. Why would you purchase a house that you can build? And it's going to be half the price that you're going to purchase it for. Yeah. Learn how to cut the middleman out of the situation.
We do it because we want it now.
Yes, that's what it happens. But guess what? Some people purchase a house and they wait on their house to be built, and they still pay all of that money because they hire somebody they shouldn't be hiring. Yeah. If you can build this house yourself.
Knowledge is power. They just need a you in there.
And guess what? And you could be on the same street as $600,000 houses, and you're paying a note for $180.
Come on.
What's going on, Kane?
Come on.
We're going to do that. We're going to have a series. We're going to have a networking to come together and show us how to build our own houses. How to build our own houses so we won't have to pay this big mortgage. We can pay a lesser mortgage, but we're going to pay on a loan from the bank, a building loan. That's what we're going to do. We don't want you going out just because you love this house. Go build the same house. And you're going to pay half the money that you would have paid for that house that's already built. And your house is going to be brand new.
How about it?
Come on. You're going to be the only one who lived in it. So let's do that. We're going to come together. We're going to sit down. We're going to have some question and answers. Anytime y'all got questions and answers about anything, DM us, hit us up, let us know, because we want to answer your questions. But we do have a strong marketplace ministry. God is first always, but God has blessed us with a marketplace ministry, networking ministry, and business. And we always want to keep that on top agenda for you guys, because listen, we want you guys to know we don't want you to be in debt. We do not want you to be in debt, man. We don't want you to be in debt. Stop getting in debt, because listen, we have all learned how to get in debt. And that's buying a house.
We got that.
Is it good for a man to buy a house, or is it good for a man to buy a house on his own, or wait till you get that special lady and do it together? Well, brother, either way. Yeah. Either way.
But it's good to come in with a house.
It's good to come in together, to buy a house together. That's always good to have your own home.
It depends. I think a grown man, should have a house.
That's fine. I mean, because at the end of the day,
I mean, it's not a bad look.
It gets sticky.
A good look.
It gets sticky though, because when people come in, when somebody already has, it gets sticky, because the person that already have could say, "Get out of my house," or the person that's coming in could, if something happens down the road, could try to take a part of that. So it gets sticky. What I believe is, to me,
that's a loaded question.
Yeah, but to me, this is my theory on that. If I buy me a house and then I marry a woman, we might stay at my house for a little bit. Either I'm going to rent that out and we're going to buy a house together,
to do stuff together.
buy something together after the fact.
That is true. That is true.
Because when you come in one-sided like that, it either can make it good, bad or good for you, or bad or good for the other person. Because we can all. There you go. We can make that. You know, you can make that to the point to where I could be big-headed and say, "You can get up out my house," or that person could get you later if something ever happens. So I believe it's always when you come together, let's start together.
What do you mean that person can get you? So you take it, you just, but that's a whole mindset, because when you come together to get married, I look at stuff different. So
it's not about that lady is trying to get you. Life is
different now.
It's very different.
I know what you said.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
But I guess I'm looking at it from where we were, but it was different.
It was different. But see, because you got to understand, now you got kids involved, you got a blended family. So honestly, this belongs to this side to me. I was sharing with you all day long.
It's true.
But what I would do is say, you know what? So it won't be no confusion. Let's just go ahead and do something together.
That's the best.
That's the best way.
Instant.
I could have my own, but I'll do something, even if I have to sell it. And then let's do something together. Whatever. But I always feel like you got to come in together. You know, what's mine is yours, yours is mine. I get that. I just believe to cause confusion, let's just do it together.
To not cause confusion.
To not cause confusion.
That's right. If it's one of them situations, absolutely.
Now, some people, they come in and they work that situation out. They never have no problems. But at the end of the day, especially if you have a blended family with other kids and this and that, you got kids feel like they have the right to this and you don't. And, that causes big time stuff of confusion.
Yeah.
So I'd rather say, you know what, let's just build this together.
Do it together, brother.
We'll do it together.
Just do it together.
If I get me a crib right now, okay, that's me living in there. We might get married. You might live in there with me for a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's a gray area.
Yes.
Women can own her own also, and she can say, get out to the man. That's right. So you really don't want to put yourself, a man, honestly, really don't want to put himself in that position. You don't want to put yourself in a position of a woman owning a home. And this is not talking about her or being bad. Yeah, you don't really want to put yourself in a position of that. Some men have done that and it works out. But you don't really want to put yourself in a position because.
But is that just for a man? Today that's probably everybody. Nobody wants to be put in that position.
Nobody wants to be put in that position. But to me, if a man move in with a woman, she has her own house. I just
think that's low budget.
Well, sometimes it's not low budget. Sometimes it helps with the budget.
Yes, it helps with the budget. But to me, that's just off. That feels off.
Okay, it feels
for
off.
A man to move in with a woman.
I feel you. Because so why it's not off if a woman move in with a man?
Because that's kind of, he's taking her and setting her in a space. To me, that's how stuff is supposed to go.
But 9 times out of 10, that man, I don't know, forgive me, but most of the time if a man move in there, when I find my wife, have your suit and tie ready and tell the wife to put on the best dress. I got you, Kane. I got you. But see, this is what I'm saying. So, first we were talking about priorities, Mike. And now they done switched it.
Okay, she said, buy now, get married, rent it out for passive income, and buy together or live in it if there's no issues.
There you go. We're talking about now, Mike, when she can sell it and they can buy together. Yeah, well, she can sell it. Yeah. I believe that. I believe you need to sell it or do passive income.
Yeah.
But the passive income, it gets tricky, especially if you have a blended family. Because if something ever go down, then the blended family kids will be mad. Well, this is my mom's, this is my dad. Yeah. But the marriage supersedes that. That's another thing we want to get into as well later. We want to get into heirs. Because a lot of us don't understand heirs. I've been to different mortgage companies. Mike's like, stay secret. And boy, that's something else. But we want to get into heirs as well. Because a lot of times when I've been in different places where we bought properties and went to the title company, and the title company said, no, we couldn't buy the house because of this person was married and they split up when never was together, and they
Yeah.
died. So the children thought that the house belonged to them, but it actually was owed to the person they was split up with because they was never married. I mean, they never divorced. So we want to get on. We want to do a series and talk about that as well.
Okay.
Waiting on my Boaz preach, Pastor. Listen, so we got to understand and know. We got to know the laws. We got to know the heirs. We got to know all of that stuff. Because if we don't know that, that's going to put our family, that's prioritizing. Once again, you got to prioritize. Why? Because you know what? We don't write wills.
We don't.
And if you don't write a will, I can't name you how many times that we have saw cribs and saw houses to where you can't touch it because 9 people got to sign the paper for them to sell it. Because there was no priority set in place. People died. And I got a friend, man, this girl, I don't know how they settled it, but man, they had a big old issue. Well, her kids supposed to got all of it, but the mother-in-law never divorced. They were split up for 20 years, but she passed, and now the husband popped up out of nowhere.
Dang.
But all this kind of belonged to him now because they never divorced. So we have to understand and learn, man, wills and put your stuff in order. And last but not least, we're going to get somebody in to talk about trust. I don't know all of that, but I got to learn it myself. We need to get trust. We need to learn how to put our kids in the trust, our businesses in the trust. They call it, he told me, he said they call it bulletproof. We need to learn that. Why?
We got to get it.
We got to get it. You got to put it on your children. You got to put that so your kids can handle it, but you run it, but it's in the trust. Listen, we don't talk too much tonight. It's a lot of things we got to talk. That's priorities. That's your priorities. We got to get those priorities right. But listen, we talked a lot tonight, man. Holler at us 10 o'clock. Oh Lord, wills, a will
supersedes, and yes, trust.
Yes, a will supersede.
Yep.
And you got to understand and know that. Why? Because it's very important.
It's very important.
Because it will. Because think about it. Let's say you had a daughter, and the house was left to all of your children, but your daughter, and then nobody like her husband. He was beating her. He was on dope, but they never married. I mean, they never divorced, and then she died. What do that go to? Part of that house go to him. You see how that works? Part of that house go to him. Ain't no will in place. So now he got to say so if the mother dies, and he's sitting there saying, no, I want more money.
Right.
Time first, lady. Go to the store. Yeah, we got to go. We got to go. Listen, we're going to talk about it. I love y'all. May the Lord smile on you. God bless you. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Peace.
Love y'all.